Imagine waking up one day to find tanks rolling down your street, curfews enforced by soldiers, and your fundamental rights suspended overnight. Martial law, a term we associate with chaotic war zones or dystopian movies, could it ever become a reality in India? And if it does, what would it mean for its 1.4 billion people? In today's video, we'll explore the spine-chilling possibilities of martial law in India, the challenges it would pose, and the unpredictable ripple effects. Brace yourself, what we uncover might just keep you awake tonight. But hey, before you grab your tinfoil hat or start stocking up on instant noodles, let's first dive into what martial law really means and how it could reshape India. Understanding martial law. Martial law, in simple terms, is when the military takes control of governance, sidelining civilian authorities. Historically, countries like South Korea and Pakistan have experienced it, often in response to perceived threats of anarchy or war. In India's context, what could lead to such a drastic measure? Think widespread civil unrest, uncontrollable riots, or even threats of secession. Under martial law, democratic institutions could be dissolved, and the constitution would likely take a back seat. Imagine a scenario where protests and freedom of speech are criminalized overnight. The media? Silenced. Social media? Censored or cut off. What happens to your voice then? But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's dive deeper into what happens to India's economy and society under martial law. The domino effect, social and economic chaos. Point 1. Economic breakdown. India, a thriving economy with global aspirations, could face an economic freefall under martial law. Stock markets might crash within hours as investors panic. Foreign investments could dry up, and sanctions might be imposed by global powers. Picture this, an Indian stockbroker trying to trade shares using barter, 1 plate of biryani for 2 shares of Tata Motors. But jokes aside, this economic uncertainty could push millions into poverty, sparking food shortages and unemployment on an unprecedented scale. Point 2. Civil liberties erased. Under martial law, freedoms we take for granted, speech, movement, and assembly, might be suspended. Schools and colleges could shut down indefinitely. Journalists who dare to speak out? They could face arrest. But it's not just about individual freedoms. India's delicate social fabric could unravel, leading to something far more dangerous. Point 3. Social polarization and unrest. Martial law could exacerbate existing social tensions, caste, religion, or regional divides. Minorities might face targeted crackdowns, fueling resentment. Neighbor could turn against neighbor, leading to widespread mistrust. In such a scenario, India's unity itself could be at stake. Could the nation survive, or would it break apart? Rise of authoritarianism. Even after martial law is lifted, its effects might linger. A military-backed government could replace democracy, with elections becoming mere formalities. Civilian leaders could lose credibility. The judiciary might be compromised, and human rights violations could go unchecked. Imagine parliament sessions resembling a WWE match, only this time, the wrestlers have uniforms and medals. Global repercussions. India's reputation as the world's largest democracy could crumble. The USA and EU might impose sanctions. China might seize the opportunity to expand its influence in the region. Without global allies, India could become isolated, struggling to maintain its sovereignty. But here's the million-dollar question. How likely is martial law in India, and what can we do to prevent it? While martial law remains a distant possibility in a strong democracy like India, its shadow reminds us of the need to protect our freedoms. It's up to us as citizens to stay informed, vote wisely, and hold our leaders accountable. Because democracy isn't just a system, it's a responsibility. And as long as we stand united, no force, military or otherwise, can take it away from us. What do you think? Could India ever face martial law? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on topics that shape our world.